Hi, my name is Gina Czarkowski. I do a lot of things. There's like very little that I don't do, but mostly I'm a graduate student and an artist. I make zines and other things of that nature, random stuff, working on all kinds of random things all the time. Pretty much like I just want to like anything that's weird and fun, I want to do it. And weird and fun and creative. And case in point, when I'm not doing all of those other things, I'm also a professional air guitarist. And I've been competing on the US air guitar circuit for, since 2009, no, 2010. Actually, my first air guitar show was at the Metro in Chicago. I got in, my friend invited me and she was like, oh my God, you have to come to air guitar championships. And I was like, yes, that sounds fun. And we went there and saw everybody's, show, and I was like, I could do that. And I mean, that's like a main motivator in my life is like, I could do that and I could do that better than like most of those people actually. So I've been hooked ever since. Actually, this season is going to be the first season that I'm not like officially competing in a while because I'm very busy with school right now, but I'm still on the organization end and very involved, and I will be going to nationals this year to hang out because it's basically like adult summer camp. And so yeah. Air guitar season is upon us, and that's the kind of energy that I'm bringing to you today on air guitar. Like in its essence is basically just like dance, but there's like a particular type of air guitar that you do like in your bedroom when you're just like hanging out and listening to your favorite records. There's also a particular type of air guitar that you do when you're like, say, like at a bar and everybody's super turned, or you're like doing karaoke or something like that and you're like showing off kind of. Mm-hmm. And then there's an entirely different kind of air guitar that takes like that kind of energy and tries to like replicate that energy on stage, but the way that you do the mechanics of doing air guitar on stage are so different than doing it just like in your apartment or like on the fly or something like that. They're both equally valid. And then of course competition air guitar is different than just like playing the air guitar on stage. Like I've thought way too much about this. It's like the most fun thing that you can possibly do in the world. It's like a joke that's been elevated to the level where there is a national tour. Like we send somebody to Finland every year to compete in world air guitar championships, which is somehow even a bigger joke. It is out of control. It promotes international friendship and peace, and world peace is actually the crux of the whole thing. In Finland, when it was started, it was meant to promote world peace. We always say we play the air guitar for world peace. And the saying is actually, if you're playing the air guitar, you cannot also be holding a gun. Yeah, it pretty much is pro wrestling. There's a lot of pro wrestling fans in air guitar, and there's definitely crossover there. I prefer to think of it as drag for straight people, and I think it has a lot in common with drag and camp, because it is camp. Ultimately, it is camp. So the thing about competitive air guitar, as opposed to the kind of air guitar that you do like in your bedroom or at a party when you're like super psyched up and listening to your favorite tunes with your friends and you're just like dancing and like showing off. Those are different types of air guitar than competitive air guitar, or those are different types of air guitar than doing air guitar on stage. And then further, when you do air guitar on stage, there's like competitive air guitar, and then there's stuff where it's like I'm performing air guitar on stage as like almost like a performance art piece or something like that, or like as a halftime show at a air guitar show. But so competitive air guitar, generally the traditional format is you do 2 rounds. The second round is the round where they pick a song and you play whatever, and you make up something on the spot and impress everybody with your ability to be spontaneous and fun. But the first round is you can have 60 seconds of any music that you want. It's your music. You can do, some people do like medleys, some people do just one song, some people even like make their own musical tracks. Like we have people who have like recorded their own tracks and then air guitared to them, which is like meta air guitar. Like it gets to a whole new level. But for me, when I pick an air guitar song that I want to do for competition, what I want to do most of all is like show range. I want to have like a section of like riffiness so I can just kind of like rock out and like show off like the personality a little bit. I want to have something that has more like detail to it, something that'll be where I can do like something like that, you know. You want to do some kind of like expressive solo work. And you also want to have something that's like unique, like a special, like a moment in there where you can like throw like a really cool move in or something. So like when I think about songs that I would want to do for competition, I try to meet criteria like that. Not everybody does. Everybody has their own take on it, but so it really makes it hard to do some of my favorite songs sometimes, because there's a lot of music out there that I love and I can air guitar to in my bedroom just fine, but I wouldn't be able to cut it up into 60 seconds and make it a real thing and get across the same kind of like awesome like vibrance that it has when I'm just doing it in my bedroom. So yeah, this is one of those records. The B-52s. I literally have been listening to this record since I was born. When I was a very young child, the records that we listened to in my house, or the music that my parents would always play for me, was this record. We also liked Men Without Hats. I was a big fan of the Safety Dance, but that whole album is awesome, but that's like a whole other story. And like Oingo Boingo, and just like, you know, kind of like fun, like avant-garde sort of pop music. I had a really good, both my parents play music and they have been interested in music and have good taste, so I actually got a lot of my musical taste from my parents, and this is pretty paramount. On West Greenleaf in West Rogers Park, and in that basement is where I first remember listening to this album. We had kind of like an unfinished basement with these big brown couches, and my parents' stereo was down there, and we would listen to this CD. Like, we had it on CD, I remember it. Like, that actual physical CD is probably in my parents' house somewhere. Okay, I cannot deny how funky this record is. It is so awesome. There's like, see, this is where it comes in with like the air guitar that you can't really like I couldn't take that on stage. So yeah, we would listen to this record on CD in my parents' basement. We had this like brown and orange rug and all of these like brown couches, and we'd just like go nuts and be like dancing around and everything. And I don't know, I associate this album first and foremost with a kind of like childlike abandon, and that is kind of what you want with air guitar. You want that. Actually, I called my style of air guitar reckless abandon before, because that is kind of what I do. I'm just kind of like let it all out. Actually, I was watching one of these other interviews, the one about Fugazi's first album with Ian, which is also one of my favorites. But he mentioned something about the guitar in Fugazi as being like, nothing about it is self-indulgent or just like there to sound good. Like, all of it serves a purpose, like as like a building block of the song, and that's absolutely what's going on here with Ricky Wilson's guitar. Here we go. Girls, it is punk as fuck. This album is punk as fuck. If you don't believe me, you need to listen to this album. When people think of the B-52s, a lot, they think, I mean, of course, Rock Lobster, which is on this album, or like Cosmic Thing, and Rome, and Love Shack, and those are all great. Like, those are all fantastic songs that I love to listen to, but this record is so different from a lot of that. Like, I feel like later on, they're really doing the like party rock thing, and this record is a little bit more like, it's a little more punk. Like, this is almost like a Riot Girl song. Like, this is literally a song where they just name the names of girls for however many minutes. That's the other weird thing about this record. This record has 9 tracks on it, and most of those tracks are over 4 minutes long and are these kind of like longer extended jams, which is also something that you wouldn't expect if like you only really listened to the B-52s most popular songs. Gabe and Cindy and Fred on this album are also essential. I mean, the vocal performances on this album are out of control. I know. We'll get to the next song actually has some real good vocals. This is more of just like Kate and Cindy being like awesome and like their voices blending perfectly into this like kind of like bratty fly girl, like almost like there's a little bit of Tina Turner in their vocal delivery. On this album, Ricky Wilson plays guitar, smoke alarm. I am racking my brain over what song has the smoke alarm. I feel like I don't know, they make so many noises on this album. Like what noise even is the smoke alarm? This is Dance This Mess Around, which is out of control good. So you get like the guitar in the background, like it's not, like you wouldn't even really notice it almost if you didn't think about it, like, but then when I imagine like, and I try to like air guitar to it, it's kind of like, it's very expressive and like there's space and like syncopation and like there's just so much character. Every sound that is made on this album is just full of character. Right, here we go. For the longest time I had no idea what she was saying there, and she said, well, why don't you dance with me? Like, I'm not like cheese. Like, oh my god, they do remind me of being like a little kid so much. And like I always think, I go back over this album and I'm like, there's a song about volcanoes, there's a song about outer space, there's a song about under the sea, there's a song about girls. Like it's pretty much like, it's everything that I was into as a child. Like Lava, like this song always reminds me of going to, we used to go to free days at the museum when I was really, really little. My dad would take us there, like, you know, there's something to do. And every so often we got to go see an Omnimax movie, and we went to see Ring of Fire, which was the one about volcanoes, which I was very excited about. We also used to go to the planetarium, and that's Moon in the Sky. It's called The Moon. Always reminds me of going to the planetarium. So we listened to this in the car a lot. Like we had like, you know, they took the CD and like put it onto a tape, and then we'd have the tape in the car and the CD, and like, you know, gotta have our tunes. That's the work of a good album. Pretty much every song. I like every song on this album. Like it's pretty potent all the way through. And it's joyous and funny, and but it's also like a really solid like surfy punk album. Like I think this is a punk album. I think this album has way more in common with like the Slits. God, how do I even pick? Like how do I pick a favorite album? Like there's so many that have been like so instrumental to, you know, developing like who I am as a person and as a music fan and as an air guitarist. Like there's so many out there, but I was like, if there's one, like this is where it all started. This is literally like the first music I was listening to, and I can see its influence like precipitate throughout my musical taste. I think that's the smoke alarm.
Yeah.
It sounds like one. So semifinals in Chicago this year, they're on June 24th. It's going to be at Subterranean. Entry is open now. You can enter, find all of the information about that at usairguitar.com. You can also buy tickets to the show just to come and hang out, and you want to be here because it is going to be so much fun. You are going to have the time of your life. If you perform, you are going to get a chance to do crazy things on stage at a mid-sized venue, and basically everything is going to be amazing.